Ripple and XRP just crossed another invisible line. And every time they do, the haters that swear they understand everything, they get a little quieter, a little more nervous as they should be, because tonight we're going to talk about the part of crypto the media still refuses to acknowledge. The moment when a digital asset, it stops needing permission and it starts forcing the market to adjust around it. First, we have the question that every critic loves to ask. What does XRP even do? They think it's a dunk. Seriously. They don't realize it exposes their entire worldview, their lack of understanding. And this is why they keep getting blindsided by XRP's role as a base layer digital money. We got a big announcement, big partnership on the XRP ledger between the Zhao DAO and Expector. We'll get into it. And while retail, they still argue over narratives, Wall Street, they just had another mask slip. VanEck publicly criticizing XRP that it can't be foundational if they're not getting behind it. But we have Franklin Templeton, Grayscale, Bitwise, and a whole bunch of others that disagree. Someone's lying, someone's late to the table here. Let's get into it. There's a lot to discuss. Now, first and foremost, this idea. There's a lot of articles. You see this one here. XRP is up 330%, but what is XRP even good for? Like, this is what they don't acknowledge. What is XRP good for? The same thing any crypto is good for. The question itself exposes how little they understand about base layer digital money here. Because the truth nobody in this article wants to admit, XRP doesn't need anything more than what Bitcoin already is, a global counterparty-free digital currency. That alone, that in itself is world-changing. That's enough to justify trillion-dollar valuations. That alone puts XRP in the same foundational category as Bitcoin. It's just faster, cheaper, and really built with more functionality, more advanced feature sets. Everything else, AMMs, native DEX, payment channels, smart contracts that are coming, advanced settlement design. It's just gravy. You don't need anything more than a global digital currency that doesn't need a counterparty. That's the original use case of crypto, and that's all you need. And XRP has that, and that's what makes it have value day in, day out. All that trading volume, it keeps building. That's all you need. What does XRP do? The same exact thing that Bitcoin does, and then some extra feature sets. You don't need more than that, and it has a whole lot more. You have Ripple, this billion-dollar enterprise building on top of it. It's great for RWAs. It's the original chain for DeFi. There's a lot here, but it doesn't need that to justify much higher valuations than what we already see here. Now, big deal here. The Zhao DAO and Expector deal sets a new standard for XRPL Metaverse. Zhao DAO just locked in a major partnership with Expector, signing an MOU that delivers custom-built Prime virtual headquarters inside the Expectorverse. Hopefully, I can talk to Dirk and get a tour of that. I'd like to, see where that's going to be built. The new headquarters will be a virtual meetup and event area, seamless community networking, cutting-edge workshops for all levels. And so I think what this shows is there's going to be this shift where you have more synergy on the XRP ledger between people that are building on this technology. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a big driver of value as it kind of brings everyone together. Expectorverse jumping in here, working with the DAO early on. You want to be a member of the Zhao DAO, participate in the future of this blockchain. Link down below, $10 payable in XRP for lifetime membership. And also, once you become a member, or if you already have, there's also a secondary link down there where you can join the Discord. You just put your email on there, send it over to me, and I'll add you right away. Those invites have already started to go out. And again, that's an unofficial Discord, just where we can congregate, discuss, and plan how we're going to hit the ground running with this Zhao DAO and really make a difference here. Now, Wall Street's non-narrative is collapsing in big time. And it's always the same kind of guy. These XRP haters, you can see him from a mile away. And this is, of course, from Matthew Siegel from VanEck. And he says XRP can't be foundational because, well, BlackRock and VanEck haven't launched ETFs. Like, this is the dumbest argument. First of all, can you imagine Larry Fink having to use, lean into VanEck's name? If they weren't interested in something, they say, well, not only are we not doing something, but so is Van. Like, this is so stupid. But here's what he leaves out. Franklin Templeton, they launched an XRP ETF. Grayscale, they launched one. Bitwise, they launched one. All three multi-billion-dollar asset managers, and unlike VanEck, they actually did their homework. Meanwhile, we saw Canary, a very small issuer, set the single-day record for volume for an ETF, any kind of ETF for this year. XRPN, the billion-dollar fund, is gearing up to buy billions in open market XRP. It already has a lot of that XRP. Institutional flows into XRP ETFs have been outpacing Bitcoin and Ethereum during launch week. So the question isn't really why didn't BlackRock file? The question is, why are Franklin, Grayscale, Bitwise, and XRPN megafund moving first? Well, because they see what the critics still don't. XRP doesn't need to reinvent itself. It doesn't need anything extra. A global counterparty-free settlement currency is foundational, and that alone is enough. And people like this will be, they've been wrong for over a decade, and they will continue to be wrong going forward. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, truly excited for 2026. He sees big things. Brad Garlinghouse just dropped his boldest prediction in years, and it has nothing to do even with XRP. He says Bitcoin is going to go roaring to $180,000. That's his prediction. A massive institutional wave hitting crypto in 2026. And this is about, of course, prices going up to some extent, but also about the adoption of this technology, which is probably most important here. What gives him reason to be excited? U.S. regulatory clarity, of course, has been huge for this space. Vanguard reversing its anti-crypto stance. I don't think that got enough attention the other day. That's huge. They have so much money, assets under management, and opening that up to their investors is going to be a lot of money flowing into this space, and it's going to be sticky investments. These aren't day traders. They put money in something and they leave it be to grow over a long period of time, and that's the kind of money we want flowing into this space. Right now, 1% to 2% of ETFs into crypto type of assets, and that number is going to go up drastically in 2026. To Garlinghouse, well, we saw this 30% drawdown and leverage getting flushed out and all this kind of stuff. That's what he says is the beginning of the next leg. That's what you're looking for. He's saying 2026 is shaping up to be the year that Wall Street stops testing crypto and starts embracing it. Should be a big year. Ripple, we've been hearing, I've seen a couple of people say this. Look, they can't sell the ETF issuers, and that's true. They can't sell directly in rapid in contracts. That's what they lost in the court case. They would open themselves up to big legal problems. But that's not really relevant because they can sell XRP through OTC. OTC is a blind transaction. You got a trade desk sitting in between the two. The buyer and the seller are blind to each other. It's just like selling on the open market, essentially. In Ripple, they don't know who the final buyer is. The buyer doesn't know who they are. So that would be perfectly fine. So they can sell OTC. That shouldn't be an issue here. But I made the comment that I think there's going to be a shift at some point in time. And you don't need the SEC. You don't need judges. I think they're going to stop selling XRP because ultimately, the more XRP they hold on their balance sheet, the more valuable this company will be. There's not a payment service they can launch, an RWA service. There's nothing that's going to, scale faster than the value of their XRP. And that's the truth. That will define this company and its value and hopefully make it one of the more valuable companies in the world. And again, that billion-dollar ETF that's launching, that fund, that active fund that's growing their XRP per share, I think that's the show that a company should trade at a premium to the crypto it holds. And if that happens or they trade it equal to their XRP value, man, you're going to see it's already sitting at 40 billion. It's going to go skyrocketing up even more. And this is important because if Ripple had been a publicly traded company, they probably would have scored Circle at a very steep discount with stock, because I don't think Circle expected what would happen once they IPO'd. It's been, a big success, but they didn't know that would happen. And so when you're a publicly traded company, they don't have to sell off any more of their equity. They can just do a direct listing like Coinbase did. And people, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, other executives, they want to sell some stock, they can do so. Other partners want to sell stock, great. They can get a liquidity event there. But the company itself doesn't need to sell in an IPO. They could just do a direct listing, but it'll give them a lot of ability going forward to not sell XRP to buy things like Hidden Road. They can use stock, and that will be very powerful, and they won't need to use cash and XRP to do a lot of these deals, and it will help them scale very quickly. That's my opinion. Now, Larry Fink, he's been kind of walking back his anti-crypto narrative for some time, and it just becomes more extreme. We see Larry Fink just flipped on crypto. BlackRock now a driving force for the entire market. Once a proud skeptic, and this is what we want to do. We want people to change their mind. That's okay. If you hate crypto before and you change your mind, you like it now, great. That's what we're trying to do. That's about adoption. People see the future. And Larry Fink now says his thought process has evolved. And of course, we have IBIT, which has surged to 70 billion assets under management, becoming the fastest growing ETF in history. XRP growing quite well itself, isn't it? And also the firm's most profitable product. So that's enough right there to make you change your mind on crypto, right? But BlackRock has gone from doubter to one of the biggest players. And really what he says, the biggest opportunity is crystal clear. The real opportunity is tokenization. Stocks, bonds, real estate, infrastructure, all moving, all assets moving on chain for a frictionless global financial system. And so those chains, those technologies that really play a part in that future, that's where you're going to see the action. RWAs are where it's at as we go forward for institutions. You don't have to ask them, beg them. They want in now. RWAs will be a huge driver 2026 and forward. Going with that same idea, while we see this, global banks are quietly partnering with Coinbase, and no one's ready for what's coming next. So if banks are partnering with Coinbase, they're also partnering with Ripple and Circle. There's only a few really big players in crypto, so this is bullish. And it's good to see that payments are back in vogue for crypto because it was dead for a while. No one wanted to talk about payments. No one cared about payments, and now it is the rage. Major banks now running crypto pilots with Coinbase, testing stablecoins, custody, and trading inside their own systems. No announcements, no press releases, just quiet integration. They're getting ready for actual launch. The banks leaning in will win, is what Brian Armstrong says. The ones that fight, well, they're going to be left behind. Stablecoin settlement, institutional custody, on-chain trading. Coinbase is becoming the bridge to the new financial system. And again, there's going to be quite a few winners in this space. There are only, so many major crypto companies right now, but it's going to continue to grow and be adopted. And that's the big thing. It's not just about ETFs like BlackRock. They're planning to use this technology and do so in a big way. They want to tokenize the whole world. Now, I don't think that a world with BlackRock kind of controlling everything in tokenized format is a great thing. It's not a world that I want to see, but it's probably going to happen, and that's the plan. This company sees the future, and they're not just selling crypto to people for investment purposes. They're going to lean into the technology and use it. So we're going to see a big balloon and onboarding people to this technology, which should be huge as we go forward. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you sign up for the Zhao DAO $10 lifetime membership link down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.